This is my 2022 Kia Stinger GT line. This is the 4-cylinder 2.5 liter turbo. And today we're going to talk about the 1 year worth of performance mods that I've done. I'm going to break this video down into 3 parts. First, I'll talk about all the performance mods that I made in the year, and the other videos will talk about all the cosmetic mods I did, both exterior and interior. We'll first start off with the lit LED intake snorkels. Right now it's in daytime. I have them set to red. The casings themselves are red, and I have them lit up red. Of course, I can't drive that way at night, so I usually turn them to yellow. Yellow goes nice with blue. Pretty easy to install. There's many videos out there talking about how to remove the bumper and then installing the snorkels. These come in a pair, and it's really meant for the 6-cylinder version of the Kia Stinger. So this snorkel feeds air into the intake housing, the stock intake housing that was here. This is the outlet right here. I removed the housing and installed this instead. This is an AutoZone air filter. It's called Spectre. Pretty easy to install. You just have to make sure you tighten that so it doesn't fall out while driving. Then you have to cap it off. This part right here, I used hose clamps so to make sure that it doesn't fall out. So because these came in a pair and it was easy to install on the passenger side of the car, the driver's side was a different story. There is no housing on this side. But you do have an outlet. So it does serve a purpose. It might not feed into an intake system, but at least the engine will stay cooler, providing that nice flow of air right inside the engine cabin. Now the hardware for the driver's side was missing because this car came with only passenger side intake housing. So I had to run to Home Depot and get matching bolts from the passenger side so that I could screw in the intake snorkel to the frame. This is the module for the lit kit LED intake snorkel. These are not connected to the headlights. They're powered separately. And I ran the wire and tapped it into this fuse box here. And as you can see, there's the fuse tap where it connected the wire. And so you just have to control the features from the app on your phone to turn them on and off, turn them different colors, whatever pleases you. Here's another mod, my blow-off valve. The reason I have a blow-off valve is because the JB4 is pushing so much more boost than stock. The regular diverter housing might not have been suitable for that amount of pressure, and in time the diaphragm or the spring, anything that had to be involved with that could have broken down, worn out, cracked under pressure. But here, this is a heavy duty blow-off valve. It works very well. It's loud. Then there's these red Strut Bar Braces. With blue bolts. Next performance mod is that I lowered the car. I used JB4 Pro Kit. The sport springs will drop the car 1.5 inches. It's not too aggressive, but I like the overall appearance that it gives when you lower the car. You need to get a wheel alignment after you do so. The rears are pretty easy to adjust, but the front wheels, they don't have camber adjustments. They don't even have a camber kit for this car yet. They could adjust a toe, but the mechanic said adjusting the toe in just right will also fix the camber. Before the JB4 Pro Kit, I didn't like the way the car handled that much. There was a lot of body roll. It's a heavy car and a lot of swaying going around. And I like to take sharp turns, take evasive actions against idiots on the road. And I needed to do something about the suspension. So the JB4 Pro Kit keeps this car planted to the ground. It came in handy many times. There's a lot of deer in my area. They jump right in front of you and I'm able to swerve right out of the way and the car not lose control. Highly recommend it. Here is underneath the car. And we could see here the JB4 Pro Kit, which comes with the performance spring, lowering spring, and the front and rear sway bars. It's red right there. I'm not sure if I could get you a better angle. That's the best I could do. Right down below there, you can see the front sway bars from the JB4 Pro Kit. They really do make a difference when cornering. Now this mod, you could maybe consider it to be cosmetic. I consider it to be both cosmetic and performance, and that is this part right here. It is the wheel spacers, 15 millimeters to bring the wheels out, stock wheels out, 15 millimeters. You get that little poke I 20 millimeters for me, I think, was too much of a poke. 15 millimeters, I think this card with the stock 18-inch rims, I think looks great. I wouldn't suggest going with 10 millimeters because you will have to replace the studs on the rotors to make them longer. Otherwise, the lug nuts won't be able to tighten enough. So with 15 millimeters, that comes with the studs already on them, and these wheels accommodate the stock studs fine. It fits right inside the crevice of the rim. It gives you that nice stance, that nice look. But because it is a wider stance, you're more planted to the ground when taking those sharp turns and curves. The custom exhaust. There is a performance exhaust for this car out there, but it's over $2,000. This custom exhaust, one, I think sounds better and far cheaper. The outlets inside the faux tips are much larger than the stock ones. So what I did was a muffler delete, which means I removed both rear mufflers, kept the mid muffler or the resonator stock, and then just added two small, vibrant, ultra quiet resonators in the rear. Without those, it sounds horrible. It sounds very loud, and the drone inside the cabin is unbearable. Here's underneath the car again, and shows the custom exhaust. So you can see, no more muffler, no more real mufflers. Custom piping into these vibrant, ultra quiet resonators, one on each side. The exhaust sounds awesome. I will post a separate video what it sounds like on a cold start, and also try to get some while I'm driving. On a cold start, then they sound nice and loud, but then once the car warms up, they quiet down a lot. At wide open throttle, she really opens up. You could hear how aggressive it sounds. Behind here, you can see, this is my JB4. It's a piggyback tuner. I ran the cables right there. and they wrap around, and then they get connected to various parts, to various harnesses. And that's the way I set it up. It's easy to remove them, and then I can control the different maps from my stalk inside the car, or from the app itself, because this one is Bluetooth. I mentioned that with my JB4, I'm able to change the maps right from the stalk. So I programmed it that all the way on the bottom, that's set to 0 tune, back to stock. And then you just switch up one, that will be map 1, that will be map 2, and then map 3. I usually run on map 2. The car is significantly faster with map 2, and there is no issues, no check engine lights. With map 2, there is no other modification needed. With this 2.5 liter turbo, I did a lot of research, and I spoke with the people at Berger Motorsports, and they confirmed that no spark plugs need to be changed on this 2.5 liter engine compared to the 6-cylinder turbo, where you do need a gapped, especially gapped spark plug. But with this one, it runs fine just as it is. Map 3, however, you should have a mixed combination of fuel and E. I can't find E fuel around my area, so I usually keep it on map 2. And this thing has surpassed all my expectations with the way I've modded it. From the springs to the sway bars, the JB4, the suspension, the Strut Bar Braces, the exhaust. This is such an underrated car. I'm really happy with it. So check out my other videos while I explain the interior mods and exterior mods that I've done over the year.